Hey everyone, welcome to
everyone. Welcome to
Come on, man.
I thought it was
This is
my
like
turn.
take number 3.
Are you kidding me, dude? Come on.
Did you know that she could do that?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Maganda Forever podcast. I don't have a mustache. Let's move past it. All right. We already know. I know.
Right away.
All right. Sometimes you mess up on your mustache and you got to start over. All right. Just get past it. All right.
Looking like
Anyways.
Val from Brink, dude. The bad guy from Brink.
You just wax it and go, Kelly Clarkson.
Como se llama?
Anyways, we're going to be covering this week's or last week's episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just keeps getting better and better. Oh my God. Jeez.
So good, man. So damn good.
The first thing I noticed is that this one was like an hour long, right? Do you guys see that? It was like 56 minutes.
It was 56, and this coming one is supposed to be like 64.
Oh, dude, I'm ready.
Damn.
The last one's going to be an actual movie. Ooh, this episode, though, damn.
Hella good. Just like I said before, each episode is always my favorite.
I'm told you, I keep rooting for John Walker. He just keeps getting better and
No,
better. My favorite.
no.
My favorite.
No, man.
Easily the best Captain America. I'm not even trolling.
Get out of here, bro.
That is America, dude. Get with the times. Steve Rogers, Captain America, that
Most
never
accurate,
existed, bro. John Walker is the Captain America. He is the America, all right? Get with it, all right? Don't you know who we are? That's how we walk into every country. Don't you know who we are?
Gross. That was last episode.
Yup. You want to talk about what happened this episode? Talk to him.
So we open up right going deep into Wakanda. As soon as they started doing the overview and playing the music, I was like, what are we gonna see? There's so much there's so much like that they can show us. Are we gonna see anything regarding Black Panther and of course Bucky's time there? And that's where we go. We actually see part of the deprogramming, and we find out that Io was actually instrumental in removing the words from his brain. So, and he even mentions like him. Good. Yeah, he even mentions that like Shuri and Io were the two that worked on him like constantly. So this scene takes place 6 years ago.
Shuri was like, "Don't sneak up on me, colonizer."
Sneakers.
What are those? But yeah, so this takes place 6 years ago, which means he only had the programming removed for a year before the snap. So
I was about to start crying, dude. I started seeing some memories in my timeline.
It was really emotional. So you just see Io like reciting.
I remember Matt's mustache. Oh my God.
But we just we see Io saying the trigger words, and there's just like a lot of trust there where he's concerned that like it's not going to work, but you can see that he wants to believe that it's going to work. And she even says like, I won't let you hurt anyone. And it's crazy like how like skilled the Dora are, because it looks like she's alone with him there, and for her to be able to take out the Winter Soldier, and we saw like how many Avengers tried to take him down when he was first triggered in the movie.
To be fair, he didn't have an arm, so and there was fire. I feel like fire was very central to
she just throws it in his face.
It was very central to that psychiatric breakthrough. They didn't have fire when he did his sessions in America, I bet.
True.
But yeah, so we see as she's reciting the words, he is having flashbacks of his time as the Winter Soldier. So you're like, good. It has to work because based on how he is now, but are we going to see a failed attempt? But you actually see that it did work. And it just makes me think of the therapist scene in America where she says, "You're free." And he says, "To do what?" Versus when Io says, "You're free," and he just cries because he's just so relieved.
Dude, the acting chops of Bucky, man, like it was so good. It's just like a close up of his face, and you just see like the raw emotion of the guilt that he's feeling, and eventually like acceptance. Like it was kind of full circle, and then he at the end of that scene, it just closes up on his face again, but it goes from crying to basically smiling and crying tears of joy, because like
It's free.
what
The
Monica
words
was
don't have
saying,
any power on them. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, she said you are free, and you can see all the pain kind of be uplifted from him, and just the acting chops, man. I hella felt it.
It's
Yeah.
just one character speaking, but you get to see like a whole range of emotions and like a
Yeah.
transformation happen just from Sebastian Stan's acting, which is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Mhm.
And
So
it,
good.
it really makes you think of him as Bucky, because it's like, you know how in the movie how he was like, I remember all of them, like he remembers every person that he's ever attacked, and
Yeah.
like, but to be able to know that you'll never be put in that position again, like that's very empowering.
And to your point, it would have been interesting if they had more time and if they wanted to explore it. It would have been nice to show like the failed attempts
Yeah.
of them doing this the first time and him flipping out, and to see
Yeah.
maybe what it. I'm telling you, it was the fire. Let's light a fire.
The heart shaped fire.
It was the fire. It worked. Yeah, that would have been nice to see. But yeah, just that scene. Oh my God, that set the tone. That's
Yeah.
when
It
you
did.
know. That's when you know. Like sometimes I'll throw it on and be like, I don't know if I want to watch this right now. Maybe I'll finish it later. That's when I knew I'm definitely watching this
Yeah.
right now. Might watch it
Yeah.
again right after.
And it's really
Yeah.
powerful because, like, of course, his time in Wakanda, like he earned his own name. He speaks Wakandan, but then like you didn't realize how much they work together, him and Io. The fact that she worked very close. It sounds like her and Shuri were the ones that worked primarily on his deprogramming. So the fact that
Yeah.
she's the one that confronts him. So we cut from 6 years ago at that rehab directly to where we left them off in the alleyway, and she's just talking about like, how could you break him out? He killed our king, and you'll never know how much shame we feel for letting him down, and like that's our whole code. And then he keeps trying to like reason with her, like he's a means to an end, we need his help, and just trying to like see eye to eye, but like for her there's nothing that can compare. And it sounds like she doesn't really listen to what he has to say until he also speaks in Wakandan, and like kind of like acknowledges like everything that they did for her, and he's not trying
Yeah.
to, or everything that they did for him,
Yeah.
and that he's not trying to like rub it in their face like, oh, you helped me and now like F off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
He's basically telling them that he's appreciative of everything that they gave to him. And so there is a respect for sure that he has for everybody in Wakanda. And he's not trying to, it's not like he's backstabbing them. Like he said before, it's a means to an end. And then that's when Io is like, we'll give you 8 hours or something like that.
Mhm.
So basically
Yeah.
do what you will, but we're still going to be watching.
Yeah. And she acknowledges him as White Wolf. So there's still that respect between them,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, like we'll give you this grace period, but after that, we're taking him. And it sounds like this time they're not going to turn him over like they did previously, but they are going to take him back to Wakanda for judgment. So after that, so,
Sorry.
Up.
directly after that, he goes back up to the apartment, and he actually tells Sam and Zemo that like, okay, the Wakandans are here, like time is of the essence. And
I was surprised that he
I was
said
surprised that he just like
I thought he was gonna
outright
hide it, but
Yeah,
I
same.
guess
Yeah.
I guess he said that to like put a fire under Zemo's ass to let him know, like, yo, you only got so much time, so you better get working now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I wonder if like it would have been smarter if he had just told Sam, just because I mean like Zemo,
Because then you don't know how long Zemo would have dicked around to buy himself more time. So
Mhm.
that's
he did
true.
that because they're on a timeline anyways. So better let him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so he just says like the Wakandans are here, and like we got to figure out what our next plan is. And Sam is still all for like talking some sense into Carly, because and I totally forgot this, which is dumb of me, but you know, Sam worked with other soldiers.
He worked with vets
Soldiers dealing with the grief.
PTSD, but he's got that quality. You can definitely see why Steve picked him.
Yeah.
It's that quality of diplomacy over action.
It's diplomacy, but also it's
Compassion.
Compassion, where it's like every time, like when he was talking to Sharon, like I'll make a call, like I'll still be here for you, I didn't realize like you needed help, and like he's always willing to like go extra to find a way to make ends meet. And like it kind of reminds me of like, you know, in the last episode where John is like, don't you know who I am, and the guy spits in his face, where Sam is in the bank and he's like, come on, like, you know who I am. Like he's not trying to throw his name around, but he's still trying to like use some of his clout, I guess, but in a different manner. Like it's not pushing it in their face.
I think the most this episode was the time where I got the most Steve vibes from Falcon, because remember throughout Civil War, Cap the whole time is sticking up for Bucky. Like he's not just looking at the actions, he's looking at the whole. He's got a pretty wide what is the word? He's got a holistic view of what's happening. Like he's not just looking at Bucky's actions and assuming the worst. He's looking at the big picture. And that's what Sam's doing with Carly. Yeah. Like that's kind of his Winter Soldier. Like, yeah, she's doing bad things, but I'm looking at the whole picture. Like what happened to her, what's causing her to be like this. If I can get through to her, maybe I can change her, which is the same exact thing that Steve was doing with Bucky.
That's a good parallel. Nice.
That is a good parallel. And this is
stop looking at my mustache. Sorry. Keep going. Sorry, I was getting defensive.
He's basically still consistent with his aim towards like supremacy and stuff like that, and he has like really Zemo, the acting again is so good, but like he's still with the same consistency. Like he still doesn't like what the super soldiers stand for, and his I don't know, his dialogue is just hella
his whole idea is that we can't allow another sect of gods to rise up among regular humans, so super soldiers can't exist. And when I really got the Steve vibes was when Falcon was like, isn't that how gods talk? Like it's exactly like when Steve was talking to Nick Fury and he's like, you know, this isn't fear. This is fear. It's like speaking to power, like speaking truth to power, like, yo, this is not the way to go. Maybe you're a little too into it. You're a little far gone if you're speaking so extremist.
Yeah, and it's crazy that Sam can still have this point of view, because during this conversation, I think Bucky sees on the news about the bombing at the depot. So he's still like, yeah, she's radicalized, but like, just let me talk to her. Like, he's not even saying like I can save her or whatever, but he's just trying to like talk to her as a person and see if they can come to a peaceful conclusion.
Well, what really helps is that Sam actually agrees with her, and he even says it in the episode.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree with what you're doing. I don't agree with the way you're doing it. And if you caught it, later on in the episode, I'm kind of fast forwarding. Carly's talking about the shield, and she's like, you know, that's a relic of an era gone by. We should destroy it. And that's exactly what Sam said to Rhodey. He said, you know.
Oh, he did say it, Rhodey. Yeah, at the museum.
Yeah. Well, he said it to Bucky too.
Oh, did he? Oh, he said it to Bucky
in the plane.
That's right. That's right. It was
yeah.
And he said maybe I shouldn't have given it. Maybe I should have destroyed it. So like they actually have the same views and kind of the same stances on things. It's that Carly is a little more extreme with it. I mean, understandable considering her background. But yeah, so I thought that helped too. It's not just Sam trying to, you know, play hostage negotiator. He actually does identify with her, and he's trying to bring her to his way of seeing things.
Yeah.
Because I think he sees potential in her to be like maybe
next
an Avenger.
Wave of hero.
Yeah.
Because he did mention like when he was talking to Rhodey, like, you know, we need new people to step up. We don't need people to take up the same icons.
Right.
Yeah.
So after this, they leave the apartment, and this is when John and Lamar catch up to them. And he's like, I can't believe you broke him out of prison. And like the semantics of like, I didn't break him out, but we're using him anyway.
Technically, he broke himself out.
Yeah. And then so he decides to go along with them to try to, or he's trying to get them to work together, but they're still like, no, man, like we're going to do our own thing. And this is when Sam, Bucky, and Zemo go to it's not the orphanage, it's where like the place where people know Danya. So they're trying to track Carly through the person that Dr. Nagel said like, oh, she contacted me because she wanted me to help someone dying of tuberculosis and she passed away. So they go to kind of like an orphanage, kind of like
it's a
refuge.
A refuge.
No, they're not refugees. because
Oh, yeah.
they're not running it. Yeah. They're not
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
from anyone.
Yeah.
It's a commune, I guess.
Commune, yeah.
It's
It's a YMCA.
But so they just go in asking like, do you know Danya? Do you know Danya? But then it's like you see all of these like flag smasher symbols, and like of course
Yeah.
no one's gonna talk to you. And that one guy that you quoted even says to Sam, like, yeah, we know who you are. We don't think you're helping. And like we're not refugees. We don't have any place to run from. Like so they do believe in what Carly is doing as well, because they're like, you know, they're all in the same bucket. She brings, it's exactly what Lamar said, like she steals medicine and food for the people. So she's kind of like a Robin Hood figure, but they're not all as radicalized as her and her soldiers are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So eventually Zemo goes about it like kind of the smarter way, where he brings like Turkish delights, which
Turkish delights.
dude, Lion the Witch
I
in
don't
the
know if-
Wardrobe.
I was
Never
just about to
trust-
say.
never
Terrible.
trust
I was
Just
someone.
about to say that.
Terrible candy. That's the worst candy I've ever had.
Never trust an adult that gives you Turkish delights. They're gonna like eat your soul or kidnap your sister or whatever.
Yeah, dude. Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. That's the same thing I wrote down. Dude.
I would rather eat the book. Those candies suck.
I would eat the wardrobe.
But it's crazy though, because like he is able to get the information from kids, because like of course they're trusting. He bribes them with candy, which is what happened in the book.
Oh,
but-
and I think also too, there's some story in the comics, like some issues, but Zemo kind of does the same thing. Not so much the Turkish delights, but he recruits children
Kids.
for something. Yeah.
Didn't it also give you like Baron Zemo?
Oh man, dude.
Nice.
Hey,
Fat Albert
he's-
mask.
Doesn't it
He's up there with my favorite villains, dude.
He's up there, dude.
doesn't it give you Game of Thrones vibes, where it's like my little birds were telling me?
One of the things I'm starting to realize that I like Zemo a lot too is because to me he's kind of like a Wolverine. Like he's
Always
willing
got to
to
bring
do,
it back to Wolverine.
I do, man. I do. He's willing to do what's necessary and make the really tough decisions, even if it's probably not like the easiest and the right choice. Like, but yeah, so that's a parallel I got.
One Wolverine, one people.
3 claws.
But yeah, so Zemo is able to find out from one of the kids that Donya's funeral is like that week or something, or later that day or something like that, by pretending to be like friends with her and wanting to pay his respects. And he even says like, don't trust those men that are with me, they're scary people. And I don't know if he did that.
So good.
I wonder if he did that to warn for them to tell Carly that those bad people are looking for her, or if he did that so that the kids wouldn't be in the crossfire, because he said like, oh, these were my son's favorite, so he's probably thinking of his son maybe.
Yeah, probably.
So so
I thought it was, I kind of interpreted it as like he said there, don't trust these guys. Like
I thought maybe so that they wouldn't tell them the location
Yeah.
also, just because they're with them.
okay.
yeah, that's what I got.
Like, hey, you got Turkish delights, you don't get to know where the funeral is then. Kick rocks.
We got these Kit Kats. No.
So we cut from that scene to the Flag Smashers finding out about the bombing, because like not all of them knew that Carly had taken it to that stage, but they were like, oh shit, now we're terrorists, like now we have to double down kind of thing. So they're just listening on the news, and she's kind of the same conviction where like, this is where we're always headed, like they need to understand that we're serious. So yeah, it's hard, because I feel like some of them that are super powered, like I think in the last episode they said Carly and at least 7 other people took the serum out of the 20 that were made. Like some of them kind of looked like they had doubts, but they're like, well, shit.
Yeah, a lot of
what else are we supposed to do?
A lot of people in their faces were looking like, I think I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Like I'm too far in to get out now, but I think this was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because that was the resistance. Their cause was noble, but once you start killing innocent people, you just become the bad guy. It doesn't matter what your reasoning is.
Yeah.
So,
And Carly eventually goes with one of the other I don't remember his name, but it's interesting because like each person has a different accent. This one is from America, so it
Oh, yeah,
really
that's
is their
true.
belief of like one world, one people, so they're all displaced.
I didn't realize that.
And
That's good.
yeah, and they hid the vials, it looks like, at his grandfather's gravesite. There's like a
It's in a
hidden
fanny pack,
compartment.
dude. Just in a fanny
Yeah.
pack.
But there's like a lot of vials. I thought that like, I mean, if they
stole
had that
20,
many,
remember?
huh?
They stole 20.
They stole 20, but if they had that many to spare.
The rest she threw into Frost when he was jumping.
Stupid.
But what I'm saying is like, if they had that many and she was contacting Dr. Nagel for more of the serum for Danya, why didn't she just give one to Danya if she already had one? Like, why wait for more to be manufactured?
Maybe they didn't get a hold of it till after Danya
She
died.
had
Yeah,
passed. Okay.
that is kind of weird. That may be a plot hole if they just had some laying there.
That's why
It's
she's
like,
like,
oh, it's that grave. We forgot.
that's why she's like,
Tonya.
I'm sorry.
We have to get the Pfizer serum. We have the Johnson and Johnson.
It's been discontinued. So anyway, we catch back up with John and Lamar going with them to the funeral because Zemo finally admits like, oh, you guys didn't get any information. Well, I did. I know exactly where the funeral is. So they're all walking and John's like, we're going to do this my way. And Sam still insists like, no, I need to talk to her.
You just like knock it off before it gets weird or something like that.
Yeah. And you just see it's just John again. He's breaking apart. He's falling under the pressure. He's failing because things aren't going his way. And so it's more of that entitlement. It's more of that like the opposite feelings of a Captain America, you know?
He keeps
I disagree.
relying.
I think you guys just don't know the real America.
Well,
I love this incarnation, dude. I hope they keep it. This is the real America, guys.
He keeps relying on the name and the clout, I guess, that he thinks goes with the title and the shield. But it's like, you didn't earn it. Like, yeah, you can be like Captain America now, but you're not Steve Rogers. You're not who did all of those things. Like, so his whole thing where he's like, guys, come on. Like he keeps treating hostiles, I feel like, the way that he treats fans. When he's like signing stuff for them and whatever. So they all four of them end up going to the funeral. Bucky backs Sam where he's like, yeah, we're going, like, I'm gonna go in alone. It's at a funeral, like I just want to talk to her. And then like John's like, they eventually agree to 10 minutes.
You're saying like, this is in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So they have an argument in the streets, and basically Sam just lets them know again, like, you know, this is in my wheelhouse. I have experience dealing with soldiers who I think experience grief and stuff like that. And then also one of the things that I really liked was like, Walker was like, you're really going to let your partner go in with the super soldier by himself? And then Bucky was like, first of all, he's not my partner. I was like, ooh, that's what's up, dude. It's like, it's a mutual understanding. Like, he's not trying to demean him.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like that. I like that Lamar stood up for Sam. He's like, you know, if you can get in there, you can minimize like casualties. Like if this works, then we can walk away with Carly and no dead bodies. So
exactly.
He was saying that. He's like, that's what she did. Hold on, John.
Peek the sneak? Are you Lamar? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right, Lamar. We'll do that. Yeah, so you definitely see who the measured one is in every situation. So
yeah, he's a balance for Walker.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the whole thing with Bucky and Sam's dynamic. Like they trust each other to like work, like do what they need to do. And I do think that Bucky sees value in like being there to stop John, like before he can like make a mess of things. And while Sam is gone, trying to get Carly's attention to talk to her one-on-one, John locks up Zemo to something. But like it's barely even 2 minutes and he's already losing his cool. Like he immediately wants to go in there and like, no, we're gonna do this tactically and just like kick down doors and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Bucky tries to stop him, and I forgot how he gets past him, or like
He
how
says,
eventually.
he's like, your partner's in there. He needs help. Like, are you really gonna let him? What I forgot what it.
His blood be on your hands.
That's right. That's what he said.
Oh,
I think we skipped over another good Sam and Bucky moment in the apartment. For some reason, like Zemo says something to set Bucky off, and Bucky grabs his drink and like throws it across the room.
Oh, yeah.
What was that again? How did that whole thing
shoot.
get set up?
It was, I think it was when they're talking about trying to find the details for the funeral, and this whole
That's right.
time Zemo is hiding what he knows.
He does
as
eventually
like
come out and say it.
leverage.
He does
He does,
eventually
but-
come out and say it.
But he like makes tea and like sets it
Yeah,
down
right.
and is playing all cool. And then like meanwhile, Bucky's like, the clock is ticking. I have 8 hours to figure this out, or else we're out of leads. And when I forget what exactly Zemo says, but he takes the teapot and like slams it against the wall.
He throws his cup, and then for a second, you actually see Zemo shook. Like,
Yeah.
he knows this is a super soldier. He could easily get killed by him. So,
I remember. I think it's because he said Danya's funeral is today at this time. And he was like, why didn't you say something earlier? And then he was like, well, if I told you, then the Wakandans would be here for me already.
That's right.
So like he needs his leverage. And that's like the most important thing to him.
So good.
And then after he throws the cup,
He's like,
Bucky's
would you like some tea?
he's up in Zemo's face, and then Sam is like, don't give in to him. He's just gonna extort you and then do that head tilt manipulation. Zemo's like, that part was really good. And then he hits Bucky's arm, like a pat on the, like a friend's pat on the
it's
back.
like, hey,
He does
man,
that a
come
lot.
on.
Yeah, I like their
Yeah.
camaraderie. They have like a silent camaraderie.
Yeah.
In like tense times, but like when they're in the heat of the moment, they totally hate each other. But you can tell that they have a fond respect for each other.
Yeah.
Just based off of Steve. Like, you good with my mans, you my mans.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, back to where we left off at the
Funeral.
the funeral.
So Sam makes a quiet appearance in the upper window, and Carly's giving this like heartfelt goodbye to Danya. And when she sees Sam, it turns from a goodbye to Danya and for all that she did for them into a speech of like, now we need to turn this around because they're leaving us behind. And
Rise up.
yeah, it basically becomes like not a political speech, but like, something to get the soldiers marching. But she like gets people to clear out so she can talk one-on-one with Sam, and he actually starts to get through to her. Like he's talking about like, oh, so you said it this way, and she's like, no, that's not what I meant. Like you're making me sound worse than it is. And that's when Sam says like,
he's like, you sound like it. He said, Zemo, he thinks you guys are extremists, and she was like, no, we're trying to take out extremists.
No, supremacists.
I forgot what Sam says, but he gets her to say, those people were just in the way. I'd kill them again if I had to. And then she hears what she says out loud, and then she realizes that she's getting way too extreme. Getting away from the original cause. And then Sam even references Danya Madani, and says, this isn't how she would want you to be going about this. So
yeah.
You start to see your turn, and then what happens? America comes through the door.
Yeah, he's like, you're coming with me,
John
blah,
Walker,
blah, blah.
dude.
And immediately
That
Carly
is
thinks
America.
that like, Carly thinks, oh, you're working for him, like not working with him. It's like, oh, you're just trying to stall time for him to get here.
He was
Sam's
doing
like,
hella good.
He really almost got through to her. And then of course, like there's this whole chase scene, and they lose her, or Sam and Bucky and John all get mixed up in the maze of the house where the funeral is. And then you see swinging handcuffs, so you know that Zemo escaped somehow. And while they're doing this whole chase, Zemo actually catches up to Carly and starts shooting her because, of course, he wants to like take out all the super soldiers. And during that altercation, the vials tip over the table that she's hiding behind to not get shot some more. And he's like, is this what I think it is? And instead of taking her out like he did with Dr. Nagel, he's so consumed with stopping more development
It was
of
necessary.
the serums. Yeah, so he starts like stomping them out, like smashing all the vials. And one of them rolls away, and he doesn't realize it's there because John comes and ruins it again, and he throws the shield and knocks him out.
Dude, he should be dead.
He should be dead. That's vibranium.
No. His left foot took enough serum. His left foot is superpowered.
Dude, he got knocked. That was like in the temple, dude.
Yeah.
He's got
So-
Capleet's foot.
But it's crazy though, because
Stupid.
like it's crazy though, because he sees Zemo like stomping the stuff out, but he didn't see Carly escaping with one of her comrades. He's just focused, like they're both of them are too focused on one thing and they don't see the big picture. So Carly escapes even though she has a gut shot. And Zemo gets knocked out while destroying the vials. And of course, the one vial that rolled away, John sees it and pockets it. We don't see him
Yep.
take it in the moment. He just pockets
Yep.
it.
We don't see him
And
take it ever, which is kind of crazy. I thought they were going to do a whole thing.
I thought
where
they were going to show it. Yeah.
Yeah.
him in Crisis, and then he's, oh, do I, don't I? And then he puts it in, and then he gets all juiced. But it's
Yeah.
just implied. You never actually see him
Yeah.
visually take it.
Yeah.
Maybe
so,
that's like a Disney thing. Like they don't want to show.
Also
something
showing
going
him.
in. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Maybe.
well, it's also Carly said it felt like my like blood was on fire. It's just gonna be him like
Yeah.
There
screaming.
was pretty like low side effects time for him. I guess he just
Yeah.
powered
Yeah,
through.
it was like right away.
He's already crazy.
It's like, I
but
already
it-
had a cold, so it was fine.
But anyway, so another dead end because John blew it. And so him and Lamar go elsewhere to kind of like regroup, and then the trio regroup at the apartment, and just trying to talk about like what are we going to do next, like where do we go from here, and this is when John and Lamar again like find them and just bust in, and they're like, okay, he's coming with us, enough of this stuff. And that's
He was
when there's-
talking. He was talking so strong. I thought he had taken the serum already. He was talking,
No.
talking crazy, dude. He was like, "Oh, how you want to do? You want me to put down the shield? Give you an
That's true. Yeah,
fair fight?"
Because
I was like,
his
"Did he
his
take
whole
the
thing
serum already?"
Yeah.
because his whole thing is like the reason why Steve was so great was because he was a super soldier, and the reason why Carly's so great is because she has that super strength. But he's not acknowledging that like people with regular skills like can do extraordinary things. So when he confronts them, like Sam gets in his face and he was like, you're the one who let her go. I was close and like you ruined it. Now we're starting from square one again. And that's when he was like, oh, how do you want this to go down? You want me to put the shield down? Like he's gonna start like brawling with him. And like that's not even what Sam was gonna
I was like,
go
"Bitch,
into.
I went against Crossbones. You really want our against
And
Crossbones?"
of course, to interrupt the fight, we see a spear shoot in from a Dora and the Dora Milaje.
And then he like he dodges it. So I
He
really thought
dodged it, yeah.
I thought he really took the serum already. So that's why he was talking mad crazy and went roll up in there.
And
But
that
yeah.
scene was hella good to me.
It was
so
it was-
good. So the Dora come and it looks like he doesn't even realize who they are like on site.
Yeah.
He's just like, hang on,
You
Zemo's
have to
coming
keep in
with
mind
us.
that up until this, I mean, Wakanda's only recently
that's
come
true.
out with their
That's true.
actual
Yeah.
capabilities and personnel. Up until then, it was just like some remote village in Africa or Nigeria.
Yeah, but you would think being Captain America, they would brief him on like allies and other
he
people
was
around the
he
world.
was well
Mm.
in the military. A captain is a mid-level rank. You're only privy to so much information,
I
and you're not going to
guess.
be privy to much unless And the Wakanda just came out officially, so
Yeah.
who knows if
Yeah.
even the world knows about the Dora Milaje. But anyways,
Well, no, they came out 5 years ago. So they have 5 years to, I don't know, whatever.
people were gone for 5
Semantics.
years too.
That's true.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so anyway, he's saying like, hold on, like Zemo's coming with us. Like, don't you know who I am? Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
it's like,
And he's
Captain
kind of
America.
growing out. He's like,
He hits her on the shoulder, like, "What the fuck?" Are
he's
you
like,
doing?"
we got off on the wrong foot. And I was like, as a woman, I feel that so much when they're just like, oh, that's not what you think. And he's just like trying to pass it off because they're all women.
Listen,
And immediately, as soon as he touches Io, like
That's
shit
when
goes
you know,
down.
dude. Yeah, that's when you know.
anytime you see anyone in real life roll a pole off of their neck, you know there's some shit about that. Every time they do that little whip with the pole and it like flips around their neck, I'm like, oh shit, they're powering up for something.
But Sam even warns him
Jackie
before.
Chan. Yeah. Dude. In Rush Hour, in the pool scene.
Before things even go down, like even when Sam was like, oh, I'm Captain America, and Sam's like, dude, like they're serious, these are the Dora, like Zemo killed their king, like no,
Yeah.
read the room. And then he like
So-
pats her on the shoulder, and then
Love
The
it. He's
trio.
best Captain America.
the trio stand by while like Lamar and John get the shit kicked out of them. But then like as soon as it looks like they're going for a killing blow, like Io straight up was gonna stab John because he was like locked in with the shield. That's when Bucky steps in and tries to talk to her. And then at this
before that he was like Sam was just like, Bucky, we should do something. And then Bucky's just like, you're doing great, John. Like they're both just standing on the side, just like looking at this whole thing go down. He's like, you're doing great, John.
Because that whole time, I'm sure like all three of them were like, they deserve to get their asses beat. Like,
I feel so bad for Lamar. He got knocked out like 4 times this morning. He got he got double Dora. He got Dora penetration, dude.
Dude, John couldn't
one was
even
choking
handle
his ass, and then one was like kicking him. I was like, damn, dude, that's fucked up. He's not even the one with a Captain America outfit.
John couldn't handle one Dora, and Lamar is fighting 2. But yeah, as soon as both times, the time that Bucky steps in and the time that Sam steps in, it's as soon as it turns lethal. Like they're content to let them like get the sense beat out of them, but as soon as like they're gonna go for a stabbing blow, that's when they kind of stepped in.
And then Io steps in with the I'm gonna take this arm back. Hang on.
Yeah, that shit was insane, dude.
She
I was
disarmed
like,
him.
disarmed him for real, literally, dude. Yeah, that was crazy because
she did it to his human arm and it fell off.
She did it to the middle arm.
Ew.
But anyway, so one thing I hella like about that scene was it kind of symbolizes that even though he's free, he's not really free. Like they didn't really, it's like there was like a sense of betrayal in a way. Like they didn't, even though they freed him, they didn't really trust him, where they didn't want to have that as like a safeguard. So like when he sees his arm fall off, it's like a real reaction. Like he had no idea that they could do that. And with all the trust that they built up between each other, to me, it seemed like he felt kind of betrayed. But I guess that's necessary. I don't know.
It's possible he felt betrayed or just like, just thrown off guard. But I think it speaks levels to like their conversation in the beginning where she talks to him as White Wolf. And then at the end when she calls him James. Like, I don't remember her addressing him as James previously. So I don't know if it's just like they didn't take it with them. It's not like you don't deserve this arm anymore, but it's just like, you losing your arm is how we feel about losing our king, where it's like, it's our shame and it's our like remorse. Like we weren't able to do everything we could.
Yeah.
I mean, every device needs a reset function, right? So I think that's just in there for like, maintenance purposes. Like he's like, I can't unclutch my arm. Hello, customer service. Yeah, it won't stop.
You just have to hold the pinky and then press the thumb.
Okay, so you want to press the shoulder twice. It will release.
But anyway, so those two big moments happen, that the fact that they're able to take Bucky's arm and the fact that they almost walked away with the shield, because the shield is made out of vibranium.
Was like,
dude, Cap, just like Cap, man.
Just like Cap. And then my favorite line from the Captain America was like, they weren't even super soldiers.
They weren't even
like, that's all Captain America is in his mind. It's a super soldier. It's never the man.
Yep.
It's never what he stands for. It's always the exploits. It's always the powers, not the qualities. So like, you can definitely see how the real Captain America views this whole situation.
Exactly.
So get off his back. Yeah.
Also
during
the fight scene. Sorry. So during the fight scene, there's that one part before the end where I don't know her name, but I don't think it was Io. But she threw the spear and then it went through the handle of the shield, so that it'll get stuck. Yeah, that was hella cool. Like that was tactical. Like that was smart. That was super sick.
It's the Dora. They're smart fighters and they work as a team. Like you see John getting into a brawl and you see Lamar getting into a brawl, but they're not fighting together. And I feel like even like that's one of the key things that draws me to the Avengers movies in the beginning, was like the way they coordinate their fight sequences to work off of each other. It's just so smart.
And they did like an alley-oop, if you saw it, like
with the spear.
Yeah. So that goes to say with what you were talking about, like they do coordination and they practice like formations or something like that. So it was
Yeah.
cool.
And then during this fight scene is when Zemo, of course, takes the opportunity to escape through his little hole in the bathroom.
Hella calm. Just
He's
closes
just-
the door. Just like Loki in
Oh yeah,
in Endgame, how he just like
the cube.
dips
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the last we see of Zemo this episode. But during all this stuff, again, like another moment to regroup, we see Lamar and John talking kind of just in their civilian clothing, just like at a cafe or something. And they're talking about the serum. Like, if you had the opportunity to take it, would you? And this calls back to an earlier moment between Zemo and Sam,
Right.
where it's like Zemo was like, if you had the opportunity to take the serum, would you? And immediately Sam says no, because like there's so much that he's already capable of doing without it. And there's no need to have that. Like, he already has he's his own person. He doesn't need the super strength. And he's like, no hesitation. That's really impressive. Whereas the conversation between John and Lamar, like, hell yeah, I take it. Like, no thought to the consequences.
You know how many soldiers we saved? We could have saved.
Hyphy.
And
This scene though, I really like because kind of like what Matt has said before, is like it sheds some light on John. Like, you kind of feel for him a little bit, because yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but then also like he's so sad that he's not like living up to it and everything, but like, I don't know, you feel for him a little bit, but then
He's just like, there were bald black women. Black women. God. They didn't even have powers.
But it's the whole thing where he was saying like, they keep relying on like, you have 3 medals, like you're the only one who has 3 medals. So it's like, yeah, but it was the worst day of my life. And I feel like that's the first like really real moment we kind of hear from him, talking about like, war is an ugly thing, like it's not all glory and stuff like that. But they're still thinking about like, oh, but if I were stronger, if I had the serum, like I could have done so much more. It's just that regret.
which is kind of true.
It is kind of true, but there's still, I feel like in John's case, he's still thinking of the glory and just like no one can like beat him up again or whatever.
You know, my theory about Captain America is that he can only come from the World War II era, when America was actually America. Like, there's a clear bad guy, there's a clear good guy. There was no equivocations about who was evil and who was doing good. There was some gray area in the tactics, because remember, Nick Fury was like, those SSR files I read, you guys did some pretty shady stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we compromised, but we did it so people could be free. But nowadays, you know, you look at the wars that are fought, it's mostly for like resources or like control.
Which is sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
And I feel like if they're ever going to find another Captain America, it's not going to come from the military. Not with how the military industrial complex is. World War II is a completely different animal. It's like, it was literally good versus evil, people wanting to fight because they wanted to do good, not because they wanted, you know, America. Like they weren't fighting for necessarily their country. They were fighting for what was right.
But the line that came from Lamar was like, can you imagine how many people we could have saved? Like, he was thinking of kind of what you're saying, like fighting to help people, whereas John is still like kind of reeling from getting like beat up by the Dora. He's still thinking like, oh, I could have taken them. Like, I feel like it still comes from a place of evil, which, like, to your point.
You know what got me super hyped is when we find out that, of course, the most notable war he would be from was the Afghanistan or Iraq war, around that era. And I'm wondering if he was in combat with Frank.
Oh,
wouldn't that
would
be
have
cool?
been dope.
Wouldn't that be cool if Frank saw what
interesting.
happened and came and it was like, I got to take this guy out because I love Captain America? Wouldn't that be sick?
That would have been sick.
That'd be
dude.
awesome.
That'd be so cool.
But what you were saying, okay, so what you were saying, Matt, earlier about like the black and white and there is some gray and stuff, that's actually what one of the characters was talking about with Carly, if you remember, when he was saying that, like, you know, I used to look up to Captain America, and because he fought for what was right, but now we need someone who looks like us. Yeah. So that's pretty much exactly what you were saying. So that was good.
Yeah. And another powerful powerful line again comes from Lamar, where like taking the serum just makes you more of who you are. So he's not even thinking of the strength and the power. He's just thinking like it'll make you have the ability to be more yourself, have your
it's like
same
being
ideas.
drunk. I'm just gonna be more you. All right, now say it in Lamar's voice. What were you gonna say, Vince?
So basically what Monica was saying that Lamar said, that was kind of foreshadowed in the beginning of the episode ish, like when Zemo was having that talk with Bucky and Sam in the apartment, because he was saying, what is it? He said the desire to become a superhuman cannot be separated from the supremacist ideals, basically foreshadowing that with John. But then also comes from Dr. Erskine, yeah, when he, in the first Captain America, when he was just saying that the serum amplifies everything it sees, so like good becomes great and bad becomes worse. So
good becomes great and then bad becomes skull.
Red becomes skull. So yeah, that whole kind of idea, starting from the first Captain America, it's still apparent in what is going on now in Falcon.
Yeah. So from there we go back to Carly, and she's just like feeling very betrayed by Sam, and like we have to do something even more extreme. We have to kill Captain America. And like to show Sam that we're serious, like I'm gonna like, because he mentioned his sister while they were talking, so she tracks down his sister and calls her and says like, I'm Carly, and then the sister acknowledges like, I saw you on the news. Like she knows exactly who this person is and that she's dangerous. And Carly says, tell Sam to meet me and to come alone.
Wait, but before that, Carly was like, I can't be sure he's working with or for that Captain America. And then Sam's sister says, that's not my Captain America. Like we didn't choose him.
Well, she tries to say like, whose side are you on, kind of thing. Like your brother is working with him or working for him. Carly specifically says Sam is working for Captain America. And Sarah says, well, I didn't pick him. Why are you calling me? And also like, I can guarantee you he's absolutely not working for that guy.
Yeah.
And so that's when Carly makes the whole thing like, have him meet me alone so I can talk to him and see what's going on. But she ends the call with threatening their family, and like the sister's at the dock with the boat, and she's like, oh, maybe we'll go to the dock, and like threatens the life of her kids, which is extreme. Yeah, so Sam's sister contacts Sam and lets him know like, this Carly girl just contacted me, like be safe, but like she wants to meet you. And
it's like, ain't that a bitch? We're just trying to run Bubba Gumps.
Sam's like, hell no, she threatened the life of my nephew.
Yeah, shrimp. So that definitely
Falcon shrimp. Winged shrimp.
Oh my god.
But it's so different though, because like the first time Sam approached Carly to talk to her, he was just in civilian clothing. He didn't have any gear. And then the next time they go to talk to each other, he is fully decked out in his Falcon costume. And they go in like kind of expecting to be met with force, because like the fact that she took it to the step of threatening his sister and the kids like is crazy. So like Carly's there to meet them, and she's like, oh, you didn't come alone. And then like they eventually figure out her plan to go after John. And previous to this, Sam had made a call to Sharon just to say like, hey, can you do me another solid, and can you track Captain America and let me know where he is at all times? Because he just, after him barging in, they just have no trust for him. Like they already didn't trust him, but it's even worse now.
All right, sidebar. All right, so she has access to a satellite, but she's on the run.
Yeah.
I'm calling right now. She's the power broker. The way she was speaking to Sam, like, okay, Sam, we may not get another shot at getting a hold of Carly. She definitely is not after Carly. She's after the serum. I really think she is the power broker. You see her high-tech setup? There's no way she's on the run and she has all that cash, all that dough, and that clout. Like, she's definitely the power broker.
Well, that's the thing, is that like she did say like the power broker is pissed because like things are getting dicey. You killed Dr. Nagel and all this stuff. But like I want to believe that she will be, but
My
I don't
theory
think
is
she is.
that
I think
she
she's still
was-
working for Sword.
No, but listen, I think remember how Nagel was originally with the CIA and then she got picked up by Hydra. I think when
No, it's the reverse. It was Hydra and then the CIA.
oh well, then that's even better because Sharon used to be CIA. So I wonder if after the blip, she picked him back up, and I think she's harvesting serum in the event that there was no more Steve Rogers, and she was going to choose the next Captain America.
Mm.
Yes.
End of sidebar. Okay, go ahead.
I would enjoy it if that really is where we're getting towards. But she even said, like, we have a problem. And like, I guess maybe that problem is the fact that Sam's sticking his nose in her business now. But anyway, so yeah, Carly knows that the power broker is still texting her, hounding her, and all this stuff, but she wants to deal with one problem at a time. And so she's trying to, her idea was to separate them because she still didn't believe that Sam wasn't working with Captain America or for him. So once they figure out that they're after John, Bucky and Sam like are on the run. Like he immediately flies out, and then Carly and Bucky are just like legging it. And Sharon lets him know.
There's some weird animation. Like you could definitely tell they
When
fast forward the running.
When Bucky was running, it looked a
Yeah.
little weird.
Yeah, you could tell that they
Yeah.
fast forwarded the running. But other than that, everything was spot on. I like the
Yeah.
part where after they're done talking, Sam like tells Bucky like oh,
They're
what does he
after
say?
John.
It's Walker.
Or
And
it's
then,
Walker.
and then Bucky jumps down, and then Carly
Boom.
like
Yeah.
tackles him in midair. That shit was dope.
Yeah.
She had time to put a mask on.
I know, right? I didn't even guess. She threw it up in the air, dove into the mask, and then stiff, dude. You just didn't catch it.
But yeah, so Sharon is on hand and she says, oh, I have access to a couple satellites, and she lets Sam know exactly where he is. And it cuts to John and Lamar like walking in, and they have a gun. And then like at one point, like Lamar
Captain
keeps
America.
going, and then like he puts the gun away because like at this point you can assume that he had taken the serum, but we don't know for sure yet.
No, he hadn't taken the serum yet.
When they're walking into that building?
Yeah, because they were doing what you do when you canvass an area. You like one person goes ahead, says it's clear, and then the next person goes
No,
up,
but he
clears it.
like put the gun away, and then
He
he
did,
turned
because-
to talk to Lamar, but then Lamar was gone already.
Lamar was at the top level to clear out the area. That's why he had put his gun down, because
Oh.
they had already cleared out the bottom floors.
Oh,
So he didn't have
Okay.
the gun. And he was asking Lamar if it was clear. That's why he was trying to get to him.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought
But
that he
didn't
was
hear
gonna.
anything.
I thought he was gonna tell him that he had taken the serum. But yeah, so Lamar gets taken. This random, like this regular dude gets knocked out by two super soldiers, and they
Oh,
dump
Should
him.
be dead. Should be dead.
They dump
They
him in a
talked about it
bathroom.
like a damsel.
Yeah, they dump him in a bathroom and they zip tie him, and then John like is trying to find him, but then you can see that he's like savoring the fight and how strong he is, because like, you know, when Sam and Bucky finally catch up to them, he like kicked that guy through the wall, and he's just like calmly walking down the stairs.
No, so I think you're reading it wrong. He on his way to find Lamar, he gets tangled up with one of the flag smashers, and he's clearly losing. He's just not getting beat up. Like he threw the shield, and then
It got
the
stuck.
flag smasher, it got stuck, and the flag smasher
Mm.
disappears. And then when
Yeah,
he goes
yeah.
to remove the shield, the flag smasher comes out. So
Okay.
like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
definitely outclassed physical wise. He's able to dodge a few hits, but he's not landing anything, and he's definitely getting
this
like
point, yeah.
outpaced. But when and then when Sam comes in, that's when you see that John
He
kicks
took
that
it.
dude through the
Yeah.
kicks him
Yeah.
through the door down the stairs. So at that point, we can
Then he
assume
bends the
took it.
metal.
Yeah, he bends the metal around him. I think he took it
Yeah.
because he was like panicking because he couldn't find Lamar. He didn't take it before the fight with that other dude.
I thought he took it, like my understanding was that he had taken it like after that conversation about like, would you take it if you had it?
No, I don't think he had it. Otherwise, he would have been like beasting on that one dude in the
No, because
that
when
area.
when he threw the shield, like it embedded into the pillar. Like I
Yeah,
thought
but that's
that
the
he had
shield's power, not his.
I guess.
Mhm.
Sam was throwing it into a tree in the previews. He doesn't have serum in him.
I guess. All right. Well, anyway, yeah. So Sam catches up to him, and he tries to warn him like they're after you, but he was like, they have Lamar, so they're trying to find him, and they encounter
Sam's
Carly.
surprised too.
Yeah. They encounter Carly and the three people that were supposed to be on hand to take out Walker. and they get into this whole fight. And
That
Carly is
the
like
wing combat is sick as fuck.
Hell
so
yeah.
Oh my
good.
god, he
So
does that
good.
little evade where his wings come out and like
And it's
flies.
like little shield thing
Yeah,
again.
yeah. And then at one
And
point,
he-
someone's holding him, and then he like just thruster farts on the person.
That part hella made me laugh.
Yeah, me too.
That part hella made me laugh.
So yeah, they're trying to do their best with what they can against like 4 or 5 different super soldiers. And they thought that they could just like run in, kill him, and like escape. Like so
My
they're
favorite part of
pretty
this whole
evenly
thing. Oh,
matched.
sorry. No, my favorite part about the whole thing is that just because they have serum in them doesn't mean that they're automatically a match for them. We see Bucky easily dispatch like 2 different people just
That's
because
true.
he has superior fighting skills and experience.
That's
Like
true.
at one point he kicks a dude through a wall. It's just like stay down. And then when he disarms that dude with a knife, and he's like fighting him with a knife, and then he just like throws it next to his head.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You can definitely tell they're definitely outmatched. Even if they have serum in them, there's no way they're taking on Bucky.
I guess that's why
Do you think
it's
the
more
part when Bucky was like, "Stay down"? Do you think that was like a callback to Captain America
Yeah, that'd be good.
when he did that to Quicksilver?
Mhm.
I guess that's more I'm thinking Walker and them are more on par with each other, where like they both have serum, but like he was still struggling with fighting them, whereas Bucky, like you said, was able to take out a few of them, like not lethally, just knocking them out. And then I think at one point, like Carly is really digging into Walker, and that's when Lamar is able to free himself and he tackles her, and she just punts him into a column and he snaps his neck.
Punches his ass, dude. She punches him the solar plexus. He like breaks a column, and then you just see him go limp automatically, and he's like bleeding from like his head. And then you see like John. Oh my god,
so good, so
He's
good.
Like, oh, talk to me. Come on, Ethan. Come on.
Yeah, you can definitely see that he is surprised that Carly went that far, and then he's just like in a panic mode, and you can see things kind of unraveling.
Yeah. You see it in his face, like, I didn't know this was a possibility that someone could die, because he's a super soldier now. Sam can handle his own. Bucky's a super soldier. We're fighting super soldiers. The likelihood of someone actually getting killed isn't very high, but then he completely overlooked the fact that Lamar's just a regular dude, and he doesn't have wings.
Again, he doesn't. Again, he doesn't take into consideration the big picture. Like he's just like, I'm strong enough now, so I can take these people. But like, even when he's fighting them, he loses sight of like, we need to find Lamar. They have him somewhere. Like he's just trying to fight it out with them. And even Carly, when she snaps his neck, basically, she like freaks out, and all of them just like scatter. And as soon as Walker like loses it, he's like, Lamar, and he realizes that he's dead. He just like runs after.
He loses his moral compass. Like that was his conscience.
Yeah, that was it. That was
you actually mentioned it a few episodes ago. You were like, do you guys think that something's gonna happen to make him snap and then want to take the serum or something along those lines? And I was like, no, that's probably not gonna happen. Like someone gets killed and then he feels the need to take the serum. But in this episode, we see that a big catalyst to him taking the serum is the fact that with it, he could have done so much in Afghanistan. So that was the seed in his mind. And now that Lamar is dead, it's like everything is that was
off,
anything goes.
He's so important to him, and that was his kind of voice of reason in a way. And then once he lost that, then that was a turning point. That's
I think
no turning back from him now.
He was kind of his voice of reason, moral compass, but I think he also like 100% had his back. Like even when he was like out of line, he was still like, that's my boy. Like I'm still going to support his actions, even though like he should have like reeled him in or whatever. But anyway, so he runs after the Flag Smasher. That's like all of them are kind of in shock.
The Flag Smasher that he chases down is the one.
Is the American.
He was the one who was talking to Carly about how Captain America was his idol, and he wanted to be Captain America.
How ironic, yeah.
And now he's getting chased down by the real Captain America.
He's about to go up. Bro.
He's about to go to the Washington Capitol, be like, "Stop the steal." That is the Captain America. Go ahead, Kia.
So he corners the Flag Smasher, and he's on his back already. He's like freaking out, and he's just like, "Where is she?" And like obviously, like they scattered. He's not gonna know immediately, but he just like slams his shield down, like, "Where is she?" And he
does
keeps
the Civil War break your reactor slam, dude.
yeah.
That was
The part where it froze in place, and he was just like, that was a great scene. And then my favorite shot was the shield afterwards, where he's just posing and it's a bloody shield. Oh,
and you see
that's a graphic novel cover right there.
You see his hand tweak, like when he after he realizes what he did, and you see everyone has their cell phones out. They're all recording him, and the title of the episode is "The World Is Watching."
The world is watching.
So like as soon as he realizes, like everyone
was that the title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was "History Has Its Eyes on You."
The shield has its eyes.
But like the look he was giving people when he was looking at all the cameras were out,
he's like, yeah, what?
Like, yeah, it's like he didn't care. He snapped. Like he's like,
come at me.
Yeah.
I'm Captain America. What's good?
He's gone,
so he killed that Flag Smasher. The blood's coming off the shield. He puts it on like calmly, but you see his hand like kind of tweak when he's just standing there, and like it's still the adrenaline is pumping, and you see Carly with the mask off, just watching all of this unfold, and she is shook as well. Like, what the hell just happened?
Just like everybody, they didn't think that someone like Captain America would do that, for one. And then also, just as an audience, I don't know about you guys, but like, I didn't think that Disney would go there to actually
they're going there.
Murder,
they're only doing it right, dude. Oh my God.
Dude, this is what I really love about Disney Plus shows right now, is like, especially this show, is that they're talking about racism. They're talking about social injustice.
No, that's a real jingoism is like patriotism on steroids. It's where only America is right. Yeah.
Oh,
which is the real patriotism. Get with it. This is a real Captain America. It's time you guys knew.
Yeah, but then they're showing murder and stuff. But The World Is Watching was the name of the episode. So as you can see, the people all around them have their phones. But I also took it as Wakanda was watching Zemo. Wakanda was watching Bucky and them. So that's the world, kind of. And I just thought that was an appropriate title also. And Carly was watching Sam's family in a way. So it's like kind of 3 points of why the title works.
Yeah.
I was a lot of surveillance
because that was the end, and I was like, "Come on, just give us a let me finish this."
Yeah, so good. It ended so good because it left us wanting more.
Exactly, dude. I got pissed. This was the only episode I watched, and at the end, I got fucking pissed off.
Well, they're going hard into really difficult topics. Like WandaVision covered grief and letting go of someone that you lost, and and then this one is talking about like racism, social justice,
PTSD,
and, like, PTSD.
Yeah, and so they're definitely going there with their themes.
Fire therapy.
So at the end of the episode, like, what do you guys think is gonna happen next? Like, do you think next episode is just gonna start from that scene, or is it gonna take place like he's on the loose or something?
I'm hoping that like The World Is Watching this. It's out that Walker is crazy. I'm hoping we finally get an Avenger.
The GRC is gonna try to get that shield back from him and try to like either put it back in the Smithsonian where it belongs, or like give it to someone more deserving, because there's no way they're gonna let him keep being Captain America after that display.
Yeah,
like, you can't put it in context. The guy was unarmed. He was practically surrendering.
Begging
he was
for
flat
his
on
life.
his back. Yeah, he wasn't.
There's
doing
no reason
anything.
to go that far.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a quick death. He didn't shoot him. He bashed the shit in.
And so, like he was yelling
a couple times.
Yeah, he was like, "Where is she? Bam! Where is she? Bam!" And then he just went ham.
Mm-hmm.
So
we got some fan mail here. Angelica from Hawaii here. Love the podcast. Been listening since episode 1. I don't really care. Thanks for creating great content. Fuck you. From the latest episode. Just want to share that after Endgame, I was really confused as to why the real Cap gave the shield to Sam. First of all, John Walker's the real Cap. All right. So
get out of here. Get out of here, dude.
But after watching the latest ep, it made me realize Sam's more like Steve than anyone else. Thoughts? Does this mean Sam could have also wielded Mjolnir? Or maybe he's still on his way to getting My thoughts is, I definitely did see the Steve parallels. You can't have everyone wielding Mjolnir because then Mjolnir becomes meaningless. And I
Well,
also think they're racist because they only let white people wield Mjolnir.
well, I think for in Sam's case, like he even said he agreed with Carly, even though it's not her means. So he does have bias, even though like he's trying to see the big picture. It's hard not to have bias one way or another, depending on how you're raised, what your situation is. So I don't think he would be able to wield it, but I definitely think he was worthy of being gifted the shield.
I'll say this, no on Mjolnir, but if Sam was alive in the 1942s and there was no Steve Rogers, I think he'd be one of the top picks to get the serum because he's not a perfect soldier.
Instead of Isaiah
he's
Bradley.
a good man.
Do you think he would
Do
you think he would have beat out Isaiah Bradley?
That I don't know because we don't really know much about Isaiah Bradley's character. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
They kind of just gave it to him as an experimentation. It wasn't
Mm.
character based in any way.
And
But
at the
he
point,
turned out to be a good guy, so maybe he was worthy.
yeah.
So.
At the point that we meet him in the show, he's obviously been experimented on for 30 years. And in the comics, it damages him mentally so much that he's like a child. So
what do you guys think? Sam Mjolnir? Yes, no?
I would say I would agree with, I think, Monica. You said no to Mjolnir, but yes to the shield.
Yep.
I think maybe he might have budged Mjolnir, but in terms of actually wielding it, I don't know.
He still had room for growth. So he's
Yeah, maybe.
he's at Ultron.
Yeah.
He's Steve at Ultron.
I honestly think that Odin was like, whosoever holds this hammer and is white, if he be worthy. Whosoever his name's Chris in real life and is worthy.
But yeah, I hope that we see an Avenger next episode. We're supposed to get an even longer.
I don't know if we didn't see an Avenger to help stop Wanda. I think it's a fat chance to stop this fake ass. I mean, real Captain America.
Well, because hers was hers was like kind of not on the download, but like it wasn't televised. Like they didn't know that all of this was happening unless.
What are you talking about? What's televised? It was on a channel.
I mean, an old school channel, but I mean, like this one, people are posting on social and like they have video of him murdering someone.
Like, hey guys, we're here. Oh my god, did you see that?
Oh my god, it's Captain America! No.
Body was like, I have to shit. Get me out of here.
Awful.
Yeah, I really was. I'm wondering what the consequences are gonna be. He's got to face like some kind of counsel because I mean. Killed some dude, stone cold murder. Like it was, yeah, go ahead.
Do you
I think go ahead, Monica.
Do you think that we will see them dispatch an Avenger to like help Sam take him down?
Dude, if we get Rhodey, because he is War Machine.
About to say, I think it's Rhodey.
Dude, if Rhodey goes in, oh my god, yeah.
But then also, I think that so in the next episode, I think Walker's gonna be on the loose. Like they're at the end of this episode, there might just be too many things going on. That's when he kind of like.
I feel like he's so arrogant that he would go back to the GRC and try to like justify it. Like I did what I had to do.
I think
was just trying to get info. I
think
like
the power broker is gonna reach out to him.
Oh,
and be like, join my team. Hence, I'm either Thunderbolt Ross or I still kind of think it's Sharon, but then also it either is Sharon or she's working for the power broker, obviously. But one of the theories that I saw online too was, if you remember that one dude in the Edward Norton Hulk movie,
Blonsky.
He was like Dr.
Neil Blonsky.
Blue.
Oh, Dr. Blue. Oh, yeah, the leader in the comics.
The leader, yeah, that's his name in the comics. So there's a theory online that says that somehow this is all connected. I know it's like different because it was different.
That'd be great. I mean, hey, don't put it past them. They bring back characters all the time.
Yeah, but then also, if you noticed, when Sam was talking to Sharon, I think when they were like messaging, it was kind of the same message board or whatever that Edward Norton was talking to Dr. Blue. I don't know if that's something parallel to that.
Old graphics.
I wouldn't put it past them. Cool. I mean,
that'd be cool.
Remember that Thunderbolt Ross was from the Edward Norton movie, and they brought him back for Civil War. That was his first reappearance. So I wouldn't put it past them to bring back other characters from the soft
Fast.
reboots. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Power Broker is somehow going to get a hold of Walker, and then they're going to need another Avenger or someone else. I don't know. They're going to need help. Sam and Bucky are going to need help from another person to get the shield back from Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have 2 episodes left, right?
Yes.
Dude.
Do you
It's already
think we'll
almost
see
done.
do you think we'll see the Wakandans again?
Yes, I think so.
We have to until they get Zemo, unless it's just.
Do you
Yeah.
think that
implied
Zemo's going to come back?
Maybe they don't get Zemo.
Yeah,
Maybe he's.
I think
you know,
I think he is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering now if Zemo is gonna play a larger role in the universe if they don't get him
Later on.
in the series.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I would love that because we need more of Zemo.
Mhm, yes.
We need more dancing. Yeah. Dude.
An hour wasn't long enough.
How do you think the relationship is going to be moving forward between Wakanda and Bucky?
I mean, I think once they get Zemo back, it's good. They're
You think
square.
so?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think it just has to be about Zemo because obviously what he did. But once they
Mhm.
tie up that loose end, I don't think it's any hard feelings. Obviously, they're not going to do any more favors for Bucky. It's kind of like we already deprogrammed you and gave you a vibranium arm. I think we're good.
Do you think
Hmm.
Bucky will try to make amends by helping them locate Zemo?
That's a good question.
Maybe.
I feel like it is his duty because
He let
Yeah,
him out.
yeah.
all of the stuff that happened in Civil War was kind of his fault in a way because Zemo was posing as Winter Soldier. So even though he didn't directly cause that, just him being out there in the wild made it able for someone to take advantage of his likeness and stuff like that, and the things that he's done in the past. So
Yeah.
I hope that at some point there's a scene between Io and Bucky just making amends, kind of telling their sides of the story, and then just having that mutual understanding and respect again. I hope that they do that.
I hope that Bucky gets back to his amends book because he kind of put that on
Yeah.
Oh
hold.
yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if that gets addressed again.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
a lot of names on there that he, like you said, he didn't get a chance to do.
I think after the outcome of this, he makes some kind of peace in a way, and it's easier for him to approach the rest of the people on that list and kind of come
Yeah.
out and say, "Yo, I fucked up." But yeah.
Yeah.
So next 2 episodes basically going to be a movie. I just wish they would release both at the same time so I wouldn't have to wait.
No, because then you're gonna be like, I want more.
Dude, yes, I want more. Jesus, what is even after this series? What's going to hold me over?
There's Black Widow
Loki
and then Loki.
Black Widow.
Black
Yeah.
Widow's not
Yeah.
so May.
Okay,
It's
so then
already
Loki.
almost May.
Yeah, it's almost May, but Jesus.
There might
Yeah.
be, I hope that in between them they do another like behind the
Making
scenes
of.
like
I
making
think
of.
they're going to. I think they made that as part of their series. Like
Okay.
it's a new
That's cool.
series that they're gonna release like behind the scenes of stuff.
That's dope. Yeah, because the one for WandaVision was cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. That does it for this episode of the Maganda Forever podcast. I'm Vince,
I'm Matt.
And I'm Monica.
and we will see you next week.
I'm not Wakandan, but my bionic arm enhanced. Just say the words, I'm activated like a Nazi trance. Catch vibranium to your cranium, wanna glance. Full body cast from a Cyclops optic blast. I doubt you crews prepared for this hit. Catch a glimpse of who I'm with, have you scared of the clip? No heart-shaped herbs or any terrigen myths. I'm taking out your ankles on some anti-carrion shit.